As night falls, a strange black mist suddenly rises in the school corridor. Wherever it spreads, light bulbs explode one after another. Students scream and flee in panic. Only two figures run against the crowd and rush upstairs: the exorcist witch, Duchim, and her classmate, Wu. They charge straight at the shadow, but in an instant, a powerful force blasts them away. Duchim crashes hard onto the floor. In her ears, she seems to hear her grandmother calling her name, and her consciousness is pulled back 10 years into the past. That day, Grandma hurriedly took the young Duchim to perform an exorcism. On a nearby rooftop, a teenage boy named Hyun-soo was possessed by an evil spirit. Just as he was about to jump, his phone suddenly rang. Hyun-soo briefly regained consciousness. The sight before him made his legs go weak. The call was from his mother. She scolded him nonstop for his poor grades and for coming home late, and even screamed, "If you're going to keep upsetting me, just die." The next second, she saw her son standing at a dangerous height and desperately begged him not to do anything foolish. But the evil spirit took control of his body once again. The elevator was packed with people, leaving Grandma no choice but to run up the stairs with Duchim. Along the way, Grandma suddenly saw a vision of the future and realized that her death was approaching. She told Duchim, "From now on, you have to capture the evil spirit that takes the poor kids who get bad grades." Duchim shouted that she didn't want to become a witch and stormed off in anger, but when she heard her grandmother's labored breathing, her heart softened. She ran back and agreed to her grandmother's request. Reciting spells non-stop, Duchim rushed onto the rooftop. Yet when she faced the evil spirit, her power was far too weak to harm him in any way. He mocked her mercilessly and warned her that if she wanted to stay alive, she had better study hard. Then tragedy struck without warning. Terrified, Duchim curled into herself and broke down in tears. With his goal achieved, the evil spirit began wandering the streets. Suddenly, a powerful force surrounded it. Grandma appeared, slowly chanting an incantation. The evil spirit tried to bargain for its freedom with promises of wealth and fame, but Grandma remained unmoved and took out a cloth bag to seal it away. Enraged, the evil spirit hurled a vicious curse. "When Duchim turns 18, I'm going to go inside her body and make her die in the most painful way possible." After everything finally settled, Grandma saw Hyun-soo's soul and wanted to take him to say a final goodbye to his mother. Suddenly, a mysterious figure appeared and stabbed her with a blade. Sensing danger, Duchim rushed over, only to find Grandma collapsed on the ground, barely clinging to life. Grandma told her, "As long as you make it through the year you turn 18, you can live a long and happy life." Before Duchim could react, she saw Grandma's soul slowly drifting away, taking Hyun-soo with her. Duchim collapsed beside her body and cried in complete despair. In the blink of an eye, Duchim turned 18. Born with the spiritual eye, she can see all wandering spirits in the world. She inherits her grandmother's mantle, driving away evil spirits for others. The one managing her business is her mother, who proudly calls herself the beautiful clairvoyant, even though her abilities are nowhere near Duchim's. Today is supposed to be Duchim's first day at a new school, but her mother insists that she complete an exorcism job first. Though deeply reluctant, Duchim agrees. Her mother once promises that she will be set free after graduating from high school, but until then, she must help finish every exorcism job. Songyung High School, where Duchim is about to study, is among the most prestigious in Korea, yet it's haunted by a terrifying legend. The student with the lowest scores always ends up dead. Coincidentally, today is the day results are announced. As expected, Woo-soo takes first place once again. While he is laughing and joking with his best friend Il-nam, a sudden crash echoes from downstairs. The student who ranks last this time has taken his own life. Before the chaos can even settle, Duchim walks into the classroom, her face covered in bruises. She has just come straight from an exorcism, and her injuries are from the fight. The homeroom teacher immediately tells everyone to return to their seats and assigns Duchim to an empty desk. Woo-soo cannot take his eyes off the new transfer student, clearly intrigued by her. Meanwhile, the dean discusses how to handle the incident. In the end, he decides to label the student's death as the result of family problems, and strictly instructs teachers to stop students from spreading rumors. After this incident, Woo-soo grows increasingly worried about Il-nam. Il-nam's grades are terrible, making him the most likely candidate to become the next victim. After school, Duchim collapses onto her bed in exhaustion, only to notice a ghost crouching in the corner. He is Hyun-soo, a boy who was killed by the evil spirit 10 years ago. Since becoming a ghost, his memories have gradually faded, and he can no longer remember who his mother is. Duchim's mother once promises to help him find his mother, but over the past 10 years, she only exploits him to make money and never keeps her word. So during the morning exorcism, he deliberately beat her up badly. Not wanting any more trouble, Duchim urges him to leave quickly. At that moment, she overhears her mother calling the wife of the chairman, trying to secure more business. Duchim rushes to stop her because she does not want her classmates to find out she is the daughter of a witch. Mom tells her not to deny that she has powers, but Duchim refuses to listen to her nagging anymore. By coincidence, the chairman's wife is Woo-soo's mother. She casually mentions that Duchim is born with the ability to see ghosts and suggests that Woo-soo seek her help if he ever needs it. However, Woo-soo does not believe in those things at all and even thinks it is nothing but a scam. The next day, rumors spread rapidly that Duchim was present at the scene of the incident. Some girls speculate that Duchim pushed the boy down the stairs, pointing out the visible injuries on her face. As Duchim is about to defend herself, Woo-soo suddenly steps in front of her and provocatively asks her to read his fortune. The remark instantly triggers years of trauma, being stared at, isolated, and labeled a witch. Overwhelmed, she breaks down, hurriedly packs her bag, and prepares to leave. Unexpectedly, Woo-soo suddenly walks up and pulls her into a hug. The entire classroom falls silent, while Il-nam excitedly records this rare moment. Duchim freezes as well, but quickly senses a familiar presence. In truth, it is her grandmother possessing Woo-soo, trying to stop Duchim from leaving. Moments later, Woo-soo regains consciousness and becomes painfully embarrassed. As classmates tease him, he desperately denies doing anything like that. He then drags Duchim out of the classroom and explains that he did not hug her because he has no memory of it at all. Duchim coldly responds that she is not interested in him, and they do not have to be friends just because their mothers are. Just then, her grandmother possesses Woo-soo again and warns Duchim that the evil spirit she met 10 years ago is killing kids here. Panicked, Duchim warns Woo-soo to stop messing with her. Grandma gently touches her forehead, and in the next second, Duchim sees her and throws herself into her arms. The girls mistake it for Duchim hugging Woo-soo and joke that they are practically glued together. Suddenly, Grandma senses danger approaching. The evil spirit rapidly moves through the campus and attacks Woo-soo and Duchim one after another. In the middle of the chaos, the principal suddenly appears and traps the evil spirit in the cloth bag. He warns him not to forget their agreement, only possess the student who is in the last place. Not long after, Woo-soo wakes up to find himself lying in the school infirmary. When he turns his head, he sees Duchim still unconscious, and, to his shock, a boy lying beside her. The moment Hyun-soo realizes that Woo-soo can see him, he gets overly excited, darting around the room and deliberately trying to scare him. Once Woo-soo understands that the boy in front of him is a ghost, he panics and demands to know what Duchim has done to him. Duchim insists it has nothing to do with her and walks away. Back home, she confronts Hyun-soo, asking why he went to the school and terrified Woo-soo. Hyun-soo casually replies that he was just bored, then grows curious about why Woo-soo can see ghosts in the first place. Duchim guesses it might be because her grandmother possessed Woo-soo earlier, causing a change in his body. Meanwhile, Woo-soo is completely overwhelmed by his sudden supernatural ability. Desperate, he seeks out Duchim, pulls out a thick stack of cash, and begs her to turn him back into a normal person. Duchim flatly kicks him out, saying there's nothing she can do about it. She mocks him for being too timid and even warns that he's not even close to seeing that world clearly. Over time, she explains, the number of ghosts he can see will only keep increasing until it's just like her. Woo-soo, provoked, refuses to back down and insists on seeing what that world looks like. Duchim rubs her hands together, presses her palms over his eyes, and murmurs, "Welcome to my world." When Wusu opens his eyes, he freezes as hordes of ghosts begin closing in on him. Terrified, he grabs Dushim's arm and begs her to do something. Instead, she mercilessly shuts the door and leaves him to deal with it alone. Wusu tries copying her movements, rubbing his hands and covering his eyes, but nothing works. He can only flee in utter panic. It's not until he gets on a bus that he finally relaxes, only to realize the ghosts along the route notice that he can see them and start swarming him again. Wusu completely breaks down and is too terrified to go to school the next day. Duchim feels a twinge of guilt, but the other students mistakenly believe she hurt Wusu, and rumors quickly spread. Suddenly, a boy rushes in with an announcement. The exams are starting again. At the same time, the homeroom teacher suggests to the principal that the exam be cancelled to prevent more student deaths. The principal immediately rejects the idea and insists the exam proceed as scheduled. After school, Il-nam asks Duchim to check on Wusu, explaining that Wusu's parents dislike him, so he can't visit himself. Duchim refuses, muttering that this isn't her fault. Back home, she bumps into her mother, who is just about to head out. Mom explains that the chairman's wife claims her son has gone mad and asks her to come help. Duchim instantly grows tense and insists on going along. When they arrive at Wusu's house, Mom notices a photo on the cabinet and finally realizes that the boy from the night before is the chairman's son. Duchim offers no explanation. She simply urges her mother to leave quickly, then stays behind alone to drive away all the spirits. She then lifts the blanket and hands Wusu a protective talisman. Wusu deeply respects her and asks how she has endured this for all these years. Duchim says that spirits aren't that different from people. If you ignore them, they eventually give up. She adds that spirits communicate with one another too, then jokes bitterly that she's the most unfortunate girl in their eyes. Wusu laughs despite himself, and the distance between them noticeably fades. Before leaving, Duchim reminds him that the exam is tomorrow. If he doesn't want her to take first place, he'd better come to school. After her encouragement, Wusu finally bursts into laughter, and outside the room, his mother hears it and at last breathes a sigh of relief. That evening, Wusu takes Duchim to Il-nam's food stall. Worried that Il-nam might rank last on the exam, he comes specifically to tutor him. But Il-nam has no confidence at all and stubbornly insists that he's simply not cut out for studying. Suddenly, Duchim senses something off in the air and tells Il-nam, "Your dad wants to see you studying." Il-nam freezes and argues that his dad passed away long ago. Seeing this, his mother presses him down and makes him sit still. Just like that, he begins studying with Wusu. Outside, Duchim turns back and sees Il-nam's dad bowing to her in gratitude. Later that night, Duchim's mother stares at her own mother's photo, recalling the task entrusted to her before she died. Grandma had discovered that the evil spirit is hiding in Songyong High School, which is why Duchim transfers there. Mom was deeply worried, fearing that Duchim may be in danger, but Grandma revealed that a destined person would appear there to help Duchim fight the evil spirit, and that person is Wusu. On the way home, Wusu talks with Duchim about what it feels like to be possessed by a ghost. Suddenly, he hugs her and says that he can't remember what it felt like last time, so this time, he wants to remember it clearly. Duchim shyly pushes him away, but she can't hide the flutter in her heart. The next day, once the exam begins, all the students are frantically answering questions, except Il-nam, who is fast asleep. Wusu gives Duchim a look, and she slaps Il-nam awake. Both of them end up laughing. After the exam, Wusu thanks Duchim for waking Il-nam. He admits that he is deeply worried about his only friend being killed. He knows that students with the lowest grades do not want to die, but that there is a killer in the school who specifically targets them. Duchim is shocked. She always thought Wusu didn't care about others. Wusu continues, saying that every wandering ghost carries its own pain and resentment. Last night, the talisman Duchim gave him accidentally fell to the ground. At that moment, he realized he could no longer keep running away. So he gathered the courage to listen to the ghost's stories and also reveals his own secret. He found that a girl came into his heart, and whenever she was here, his heart pounded. He didn't know what to do, because this had never happened to him before. Unexpectedly, the ghosts suddenly disappeared. It seems this question is a difficult one, even for them. After school, Duchim runs into her classmate Su-jung outside her house. Su-jung has a crush on Woo-soo. Early, a boy claims he saw Duchim leaving Woo-soo's house, and that the two of them were spotted together late at night at a fortune-telling shop. Out of curiosity, Su-jung goes to the shop to find out what is really going on. Duchim tries to persuade her to leave, but her mother suddenly appears. Mistaking Su-jung for Duchim's friend, she greets her warmly. A sly look flashes across Su-jung's face as she realizes that Duchim is the daughter of a witch. She warns Duchim to stay away from Woo-soo, or she will expose her secret. After being threatened, Duchim deliberately starts keeping her distance from Woo-soo. This only confuses him, and he can't understand why she suddenly pushes him away. As Duchim passes the flower bed, she suddenly recalls the day she first came to this school. Back then, as she rushed to class, she ran into the ghost of a student who fell to his death. He screamed in despair, "I don't want to die," and in the next moment, he was swallowed by raging flames. From that moment on, Duchim realized that a powerful and evil spirit is lurking within this school. After school, while waiting for the bus, Duchim is teased by Hyun-soo's ghost. She angrily tells him to get lost, but Akyoung, standing nearby, thinks Duchim is yelling at her and is about to confront her. Fortunately, Woo-soo arrives just in time to stop it. Akyoung smirks and teases, "I guess you're madly in love." Annoyed, Duchim turns and walks away, and Woo-soo quickly follows after her. To get rid of him, Duchim tells him that there is an evil spirit at school that kills the student ranked last, and urges him to focus more on Il-nam instead. Even so, on her way home, she can't help but imagine Woo-soo by her side. Meanwhile, Woo-soo is restless because of the evil spirit. He goes to see Duchim, wanting to know if there is any way to catch the spirit before him kills another student. Duchim says helplessly that all they can do is pray that Il-nam does not end up at the bottom. The next day, the moment Duchim steps into the classroom, she senses the strange looks being thrown her way. It turns out Woo-soo ran into Su-jung when he went out last night. She immediately guessed that he was on his way to see Duchim and warned him not to make her angry. Woo-soo fired back, telling her not to threaten him, or he would introduce her to the new friends he made. Completely enraged, Su-jung spreads the secret that Duchim's mother is a witch throughout the entire school. Duchim stands there, unsure of what to do, fully aware that she'll be seen as different all over again. Just then, the homeroom teacher enters the classroom and solemnly announces that the student who ranked last in the exam is Il-nam. Il-nam only grins foolishly, completely unaware that death is closing in on him. After class, Woo-soo furiously beats up Il-nam. Desperate to save his only friend, he realizes that Il-nam has already given up all hope. He orders Il-nam to go back to the classroom, grab his backpack, and leave this dangerous school with him. Meanwhile, the principal opens the door sealed by a talisman and murmurs softly, "It's time for your meal." The evil spirit bursts out in excitement, heading straight for Il-nam. Looking up, Woo-soo sees a terrifying black shadow hovering in the air. Instinctively, he cries out for Duchim in his mind. Inside the classroom, Duchim suddenly turns her head as if she senses something and immediately sprints toward the basketball court. She shields Il-nam between herself and Woo-soo and chants a spell to hold the evil spirit at bay. In the critical moment, Duchim tells them to run while she stays behind to buy time. But the evil spirit is far too powerful. It knocks her down in an instant and vanishes. The boys sprint for their lives and eventually hide in the underground parking lot to catch their breath. However, the evil spirit catches up and possesses a passerby. They rush into an elevator, but just as the door is about to close, the spirit sticks out a foot to block them. Woo-soo immediately recites the spell Duchim taught him, but it has no effect at all. The possessed man viciously grips their throats, leaving them on the verge of suffocation. At the last second, Duchim arrives in time. The spirit releases the boys and mocks her, asking what she can possibly do on her own. Duchim responds confidently, "I'm not alone." In the next moment, countless ghosts appear behind her. They all lunge at the evil spirit, wrapping around it layer by layer and buying the three of them time to escape. Once they are safe, Woo-soo tightly embraces Duchim, thanking her for saving Il-nam's life. Just then, Il-nam wakes up and asks in confusion what happened. They offer no explanation and quickly take him to Duchim's house. Outside, Hyun-soo stands guard, keeping watch in case the evil spirit follows. After learning the full truth, Il-nam wonders what the evil spirit gains by killing the student who ranks last. Duchim's mother explains that once the student with poor grades dies, the rest of the students study desperately. This is exactly how Songyung High School rapidly becomes prestigious. Suddenly, the lights begin to flicker wildly. The evil spirit has indeed tracked them down. Just then, the principal appears and forcefully suppresses the spirit, preventing it from causing further trouble. What he does not realize is that Hyun-soo is hiding in the shadows, watching everything unfold. Meanwhile, Il-nam still refuses to believe that evil spirit exists and even mocks Woo-soo for going crazy after hanging out with Duchim. Just as he is about to leave, Duchim suddenly brings up the scars on his body and secrets that only he and his dad know. Il-nam is left speechless, then demands to know how she knows these things. It turns out that, at the food stall that day, his dad poured his heart out to Duchim. She is merely passing along his dad's apology for not being there, as he grows up and urging Il-nam not to do anything foolish. Only then does Il-nam truly believe that Duchim can see ghosts. He breaks down in tears. Later, Woo-soo and Duchim chat outside the house. Duchim mentions that he and Il-nam were siblings in their past lives, and she teasingly adds that Woo-soo was the whining sister. Embarrassed, Woo-soo asks whether she can see his future. Duchim tells him to close his eyes and jokingly says that the darkness he sees is his future. Unexpectedly, Woo-soo answers seriously, "I can only see you. Are you my future?" Just as the moment turns romantic, Woo-soo's parents arrive in a hurry, and Duchim's mother comes out after hearing the noise. Woo-soo's mother slaps Duchim's mother hard across the face, accusing her and her daughter of setting a trap to lure Woo-soo away. Furious, Duchim urges Woo-soo to leave first and promises she will handle everything herself. Not wanting to cause them any more trouble, Il-nam offers a sincere apology and leaves. Duchim's mother lets out a long sigh and says helplessly that everything is ruined. On the way home, Woo-soo's parents keep pressuring him, forbidding him from associating with poor-performing students like Il-nam, even out of friendship or sympathy. Feeling suffocated, Woo-soo forces the car to stop and gets out halfway. Meanwhile, Il-nam senses that something is watching him from outside the food stall, yet he sees nothing. The next second, he is possessed by the evil spirit. Elsewhere, Duchim finds an axe in her grandmother's room. She immediately recalls how her grandmother once used it to drive away ghosts and realizes it may be the key to defeating the evil spirit. She puts the axe into her backpack and decides to go to the school alone. Mom tries to stop her, warning that no one will ever appreciate everything she sacrifices. Just as Duchim hesitates, Woo-soo calls and tells her that Il-nam has returned to school, claiming he left something behind. By now, Il-nam has completely lost consciousness. Under the evil spirit's control, he smashes the door lock, returns to the classroom, and quietly sits by the window. The evil spirit sneers that a loser like Il-nam doesn't deserve to live. Before long, Woo-soo and Duchim arrive and desperately pull Il-nam away from the window. Duchim continuously chants spells, trying to force the evil spirit out of his body, planning to destroy it with the axe. Unfortunately, they are no match for the evil spirit and can only watch helplessly as he harms Il-nam. The two rush downstairs and see Il-nam's soul separate from his body. Duchim notices that his heartbeat is still faint and immediately begins CPR. Suddenly, Hyun-soo appears and tells them they must reach the hospital within 5 minutes, or Il-nam will never be able to return to his body. In desperation, Duchim suggests that Hyun-soo temporarily enter Il-nam's body. In exchange, she promises to help him find his mother. Hyun-soo agrees and takes control of Il-nam's body, staggering all the way to the hospital and collapsing onto an empty bed. Watching his friend hover between life and death, Woo-soo is consumed by rage. He swears to stop this evil spirit and never allow it to trample innocent lives again. The next day, the principal spots blood on the floor and begins searching for the spirit, only to come across Duchim's homeroom teacher. As he steps forward to greet him, he realizes the teacher is already possessed. The possessed teacher roars, "I lose the bottom student. It's all because of Duchim." The principal quickly pulls out a talisman, chants a spell, and seals the evil spirit into the cloth bag. Afterward, he summons Duchim to his office. Wusu's mother is also present, her hostility unmistakable. Soon, Wusu arrives as well. He stands beside Duchim and quietly reaches back to hold her hand. The dean demands that Duchim either transfer schools or be expelled, accusing her of disrupting the academic environment and leaving school without permission. Wusu openly confesses that he is involved as well, openly opposing them throughout. In the end, the principal decides to give Duchim another chance, stating that, as an educator, he should never give up on his students easily. He then asks everyone to leave, keeping only Duchim behind. Meanwhile, Duchim's mother rushes to the school in a panic, still wearing her work uniform because she does not even have time to change. Hearing that her daughter is allowed to remain in school, she finally breathes a sigh of relief. Suddenly, the bell in her hand begins to ring, signaling that there is a ghost nearby. Guided by the sound, she stops in front of a room and senses something terrifying behind the door. Frightened, she immediately flees the campus. In the office, the principal warns Duchim to focus on her studies and stop spreading rumors about the evil spirit in the school. Duchim senses something is wrong and pushes back, insisting that she has never mentioned the evil spirit. Realizing he has misspoken, the principal quickly hands her a report card to change the subject. Duchim is devastated to see her grades plummeting. She tells Wusu that she used to rank first in her entire school, but now she has dropped to 101st place. Wusu, however, believes grades are not the most important thing right now. Protecting Il-nam comes first. Duchim explains that she has already asked Hyunsu to temporarily hide Il-nam's soul. Even so, they must capture the evil spirit before Il-nam's mother gives up on treatment, or Il-nam will be lost forever. Elsewhere, the principal ignores all objections and insists on holding another mock exam. This time, the candidate most likely to rank last is Akyoung, who once bullied Duchim. Overwhelmed with emotion, Akyoung confronts Duchim and asks whether she can see her dead after the next exam. Because of her hostile tone, Duchim coldly warns her, "Don't make me think it doesn't matter whether you live or die." Driven to despair, Akyoung hides in the bathroom and attempts to take extreme action. Duchim suddenly has a bad feeling and hurries after her with Wusu. Just then, Akyoung hears many voices outside, desperately trying to stop her from doing something foolish. She cautiously peeks out and is stunned to see the cartoon characters she drew speaking. In fact, it's a spell cast by Duchim to help Akyoung regain the will to live. Duchim tells her that if she makes it through this year safely, she will become a famous webtoon artist. Wusu also promises that no one else at their school will die. Later that day, Duchim returns home and finds her mother trembling under the table. She anxiously asks what happened, and her mother urgently warns her to transfer schools, saying the campus is not only haunted by evil spirits, but also crowded with non-human beings. The next day, Duchim goes back to school, her mother's warning echoing in her mind. Driven by curiosity, she walks alone toward the basement covered in talismans but finds nothing unusual. Just as she is about to leave, a strange noise rings out, and she screams in terror. Meanwhile, Wusu enters a dark room. He raises his flashlight and sees all the deceased students gathered inside, with Duchim slowly emerging from the darkness. Wusu jolts awake, realizing it is only a nightmare. He turns to look for Duchim and discovers she is not in the classroom at all. Elsewhere, Duchim is in agony and nearly loses consciousness, saved only when Wusu arrives in time to support her. She tells him that the ghosts of the dead students are all imprisoned in the basement. Recalling his nightmare, Wusu finally understands that it is the evil spirit keeping them trapped there. Determined to uncover the truth, they go to their homeroom teacher and confess that an evil spirit exists within the school. Although skeptical, the teacher decides to trust them once. After all, even the top student Wusu is saying it too. Since he is on night duty tonight, he will wait for them with the key to the basement. Before the operation begins, Duchim teaches Wusu how to use the axe to exorcise ghosts. But Wusu's mother is now watching him unusually closely. That night, she even invites Su Jung over to her house, just to prevent Wusu from sneaking out. However, Wusu is already prepared. He asks Hyunsu to possess Su Jung, then leaves the house together with her. In this way, Wusu successfully meets up with Duchim. They bring their homeroom teacher down to the basement. The teacher is shocked to discover that such a place exists inside the school. As he works on unlocking the door, Wusu suddenly remembers that nightmare. Worried that Duchim might be in danger, he tells her to stay by his side at all times. Meanwhile, after settling Su Jung in the infirmary, Hyunsu also rushes to the basement to help. On the way, he notices the principal's photo and suddenly recalls a terrifying memory. The person who murdered Duchim's grandmother is none other than the principal. Elsewhere, the homeroom teacher opens the basement door. They walk through a pitch-dark corridor and enter a run-down classroom. Suddenly, the ghosts who are studying reveal themselves, creating an eerie atmosphere. When they see Wusu, they are visibly shocked, curious why the top student has come to a place like this. Duchim urges everyone to leave immediately, but the ghosts panic, saying they will be punished by the teacher if they do. The next second, they all scream at once. The teacher is here! It turns out the evil spirit has possessed the homeroom teacher and immediately launches an attack on Duchim and Wusu. While the spirit is distracted, Wusu fights back and pins him firmly to the ground. Hyunsu rushes in and reveals the truth. It was the principal who killed Duchim's grandmother. Before anyone can recover from the shock, the evil spirit breaks free and abducts Hyunsu. Duchim breaks down in tears, blaming herself for not having helped Hyunsu find his mother yet. After calming down, she recalls meeting the principal when she was a child and realizes that everything has been orchestrated by him. Wusu urges her not to act recklessly and to put aside her hatred for the principal for now. More importantly, Ilnam's soul is still hidden somewhere. To save him, they must find the evil spirit first. The next day, a boy rushes into the classroom and announces that the mock exam is happening tomorrow. With time running out, Duchim makes a bold decision. She will use herself as bait to lure the evil spirit out. After class, she secretly approaches Akyoung and suggests swapping answer sheets. If nothing changes, Akyoung is destined to rank last in the exam. However, Duchim does not tell Wusu about this plan, unwilling to put him in danger again. Meanwhile, the homeroom teacher goes to the principal and confesses that he saw the evil spirit in the basement. He suggests canceling this week's exam to prevent the students from getting hurt. The principal explodes in rage, even grabbing the teacher by the throat and threatening him not to waste time on dumb students or those who don't want to study. After school, Wusu and Duchim visit Ilnam at the hospital. Ilnam's mother admits that she is barely holding on, unable to afford the overwhelming medical bills. To comfort her, they promise to do everything they can to bring Ilnam back. On the way home, Duchim feels anxious about the uncertain outcome, but she has already prepared herself to sacrifice her life. Suddenly, she hugs Wusu and even kisses him first. For her, it is her first kiss, and possibly her last. Before long, the death exam begins. In the first test, Duchim and Akyoung try to find a moment to swap answer sheets, but they're too nervous and fail. Sharp-eyed Wusu immediately sees through Duchim's plan, and it fills him with anger. He not only scolds Akyoung, telling her that if she's afraid of dying, she should study harder, but also openly stops her from cheating during the second exam. Duchim is furious at his interference and demands to know why he keeps butting into her business. Wusu ignores her, and tension grows between them. Akyoung, meanwhile, completely breaks down, realizing she may very well become the evil spirit's next target. Unexpectedly, the principal forces the homeroom teacher to falsify Duchim's grades, making her the lowest-scoring student. The teacher strongly objects, but the principal insists that he is giving Duchim a chance to prove there really is an evil spirit at the school. Under immense pressure, the teacher has no choice but to comply. The next day, while reviewing the results, the teacher discovers something even more shocking. With a heavy heart, he announces to the class that the student who ranks last is actually Wusu. As everyone stares in disbelief, Wusu reveals a satisfied smile. This is all part of his plan. He deliberately gets the lowest score so he can protect Duchim. After class, Duchim is so angry that she slaps him and demands to know why he would risk his life like this. Wusu shows no regret. He fears that his dreams truly have prophetic power, and he cannot accept a future where Duchim's soul remains trapped forever in the basement. Looking at her report card, he even mocks her for getting everything wrong except one question. Duchim explains that someone tampered with her grades, but that person never expects Wusu to bomb his exam. Meanwhile, the principal flies into a rage and shouts that the exam should be annulled, but it is already too late. The evil spirit breaks free from its seal and charges straight toward Wusu. After school, Wusu and Duchim head to the music room to prepare for the final battle. Duchim's mother carefully sews protective talismans into their coats to shield them from the spirit's attacks. Just as they are about to change, Akyoung suddenly bursts into the room. Fearing that the two of them will die trying to save her, she decides to join the fight. Moments later, Sujung appears as well. After learning the truth about the evil spirit from Akyoung, she feels deeply guilty toward Duchim and is determined to save Wusu. Duchim finally agrees to let them help and explains the plan. Once the spirit appears, the talismans in the hallway will trap it. Sujung and Akyoung will distract it with red beans, while Duchim and Wusu work together to finish it off with the axe. She then grants the two girls a temporary ability to see spirits and warns them not to get hurt. Night falls, and the evil spirit appears as expected, rushing straight at Wusu. But the talismans fail completely, and the spirit easily dodges their attacks. Wusu realizes at once the evil spirit has evolved. It has devoured the souls of the dead students, vastly increasing its power. The spirit repeatedly tries to possess Wusu, but each attempt fails. Duchim grabs the axe and fights back, yet she is completely outmatched. Wusu immediately recites a spell and manages to suppress the spirit briefly. But just as Duchim swings the axe, the spirit breaks free and traps both of them. In the critical moment, Wusu tells Duchim to grab his hand, and the two chant a spell together, forcing the spirit to retreat. Just as they are about to pursue him, the principal suddenly appears and blocks their path. He explodes in rage, accusing Duchim of turning the school into chaos, and even threatens to kill her. Amid the chaos, the principal accidentally falls down the stairs and is stabbed by his own dagger. As he lies dying, he mutters that this school has consumed his entire life's work. Years earlier, Songyung High School was completely hopeless. Even property and land values in the surrounding area plummeted because of it. Everything changed the day the evil spirit accidentally possessed the principal. Desperate to survive, he suggested that the evil spirit killed the student who ranked last in every exam. But the spirit showed no interest in that deal. Instead, he said that if the principal could kill Duchim's grandmother, he would grant him everything he desired. The principal began searching for Grandma, even learning spells and talisman drawing techniques from her. In the end, he brutally murdered her and got his hands on the evil spirit. Through this, he successfully brought the sinking school back to life. After hearing the truth, Duchim and Wusu still cannot forgive him. They only demand that he atone for the students who died. The principal ultimately dies, filled with regret. Duchim finds her grandmother's cloth bag in his pocket. Just then, a scream suddenly echoes from the rooftop. They rush upstairs and find Sujung sitting on the edge of the railing, one step away from falling. Wusu charges forward and grabs her, but he walks straight into the evil spirit's trap. The spirit tightly grips him, slowly trying to take over his body. Duchim keeps calling out to Wusu, trying to keep him conscious. She begins chanting a spell, and the spirits of the dead students appear to help her. Duchim quickly opens the pouch to seal the evil spirit, but he escapes once again. At the critical moment, Duchim's grandmother's spirit appears. She praises the kids for doing well and pours the last of her remaining power into the pouch. Duchim and Wusu immediately recite the sealing spell and then swing the axe without hesitation, completely destroying the evil spirit. Grandma appears once more and tells Duchim that her future is now hers to decide, and that she will surely live a happy life. After their final farewell, Grandma leads the student souls with her to the underworld. Soon after, Hyunsu's soul is finally freed. He reveals that Il-nam is at the memorial park where Grandma is, and that he has remembered the way home. He wishes to see his mother one last time before leaving this world. Meanwhile, the principal woke up, thinking he's cheated death, but then he sees his body lying before him. The next day, Woo-soo goes to the cemetery and finds Il-nam's soul. Before long, Il-nam regains consciousness. His mother bursts into tears of joy and rushes to call the doctor. The moment Il-nam opens his eyes, he sees his father's spirit. His father embraces him tightly, relieved and grateful that his son has been given a second chance at life. In the end, everything returns to calm, and everyone goes back to their normal lives. Mock exams continue as usual, but from now on, no one will ever die again.